Friston also made the case, which was something I hadn't conceptualized, that so negative emotion is a marker for the emergence of entropy. He also made a case that positive emotion signified a decrease in entropy insofar as if you have a goal in mind, which frames your conceptions and your apprehension and structures your world, and you see yourself progressing towards that goal, which is something that makes you happy and enthusiastic. The reason that positive emotion emerges is because it marks a decrease in the distance between you and the goal, which is equivalent to a decrease in entropy. So Friston, we did work on this idea in my lab as well, has associated the notions of positive and negative emotion with one of the most fundamental concepts of the world of physics. And so why am I telling you that? Because the descent into the underworld is the dissolution into entropy, right? It's what happens to you when the ground under your feet dissolves and down you fall. Why down? Well, it's a metaphor, you know. It's the metaphor of hell. It's the metaphor of below. Why is down metaphorically negative for human beings? Well, up is positive, right? We climb upward, we look up. When we're confident, we stand straight and we look forward. We look up, we gaze into the distance. We let the stars guide us. We let the sun and the moon be our markers. We're oriented by the North Star. Up is where we look for inspiration and illumination. Down is where we collapse when things go terribly wrong, right? Down is where your face falls when you're miserable or depressed. Down is the more unconscious realm of the body. Up is towards vision, which is associated with illumination and enlightenment. Down is dust and dirt and decay and death and the grave. And up is heavenward and skyward and towards the light. And so the dissolution and descent into the underworld is the collapse of unifying structure into its constituent parts. Confusion. It's what you experience, for example, when the rickety old car that you can afford because you're really not a very hard and reliable worker breaks down on the way to the job that you hate to go to. And so what happens when the car breaks down? Well, first of all, whatever you're in is immediately not a car. And you think, well, of course it is, because it hasn't changed in its important material aspects. It still has 4 wheels, for example, and 2 doors, some of which might even be functional, depending on the cataclysmic state of your finances. But you're under a misapprehension with regards to your understanding of objects, because a car isn't something with 4 wheels and, let's say, 2 doors. It's a conveyance from one point to another. And when it stops conveying you, it's not a car. And when it collapses on the freeway, let's say, it's now a nest of snakes and you're in it. And what's the nest of snakes? Well, how stupid are you that you're 35 years old, let's say, and that's the best bloody car you can afford? It's no wonder your wife or your husband can't stand having you around. And is the fact that you're driving this old clunker a consequence of your own fundamental inadequacy, or is it a reflection of the sorry state of the cosmos itself and what? The cursed nature of man at the hand of God. And is it going to be that now you're going to lose the 3rd job this year because you didn't get to work yet again? And are you perversely happy about that because you actually hate the damn job and your boss? And what does that say about the entire substructure of the capitalist world, let's say, and poor, oppressed, and enslaved you struggling mightily to get your clunker off to your hateful job? Well, that's what the car is turned into. Right? All that confusion and chaos, all that noise and doubt, right? That's a descent into the underworld. That one happens to be involuntary, and that means it'll be signified by negative emotion. Anxiety first, that indicates the multiplying of the pathways in your life, which had been reduced to get in the car, drive to work, do your job, and expand it into whatever the hell mess you're in now, especially given that you can't afford the repair bill. So how are you going to get anywhere? And you're the sort of clueless character, too daft about your own belongings to not be constantly taken advantage of, let's say, by malevolent mechanics. who look upon you as a deserving object of exploitation, right? In no small part because of your own stupidity. Right. So all that mess, that's what the car turns into. That's a very interesting way of looking at it, and a very interesting way of looking at the collapse of your conceptions in your life as such. It happens all the time.